When pro fighters take on bodybuilders, strength versus technique. In this video, we put professional fighters against bodybuilders in a battle of brawn and brains. Which of these two groups of fighters dominate in a clash? Let's find out. In this video, we have a practice session between a bodybuilder and a professional MMA fighter. While you'd think the bodybuilder has an advantage, it doesn't seem to do him much good. Despite the slow pacing of the match, you can clearly see how smooth the pro fighter's movements are. Sure, the bodybuilder tried his best, but it wasn't enough, as we've seen here at the end. Here we have Hans, a bodybuilder from Finland, who definitely has the muscles and body to take on anybody, except for this wrestler, who was in a league of his own, being a wrestling Olympic champion. With the weight difference, it was supposed to be a predictable and easy win for Hans. Well, seconds into the fight, the wrestling champion quickly launched his attack and soon enough dominated the fight. Finally, the bodybuilder was forced to tap out after a tight headlock from his opponent. Up next, we have a famous match between Alan Karev and Gary Goodridge. This fight takes us back to 2005 in a David versus Goliath scenario in the octagon. The legendary MMA champ Gary Big Daddy Goodridge faces off against the colossal Russian sumo wrestler Alan Karev in a fight that will leave you speechless. At 6'3" and 240 pounds, Goodridge is by no means a small man, but compared to his gigantic opponent, he looks like a lightweight. Karev towers over Goodridge at an astonishing 6'7" and weighs in at around 400 pounds. Goodridge is known for his strength in the ring, but in this fight, it's clear that Karev is the stronger fighter. As soon as the fight begins, the Russian powerhouse bull rushes Goodridge and takes him down to the mat. However, being that big and strong can have its drawbacks, and Karev soon tires himself out. This gave Goodridge the perfect time to switch things up and put Karev on the ground. He proceeds to throw out more punches before finishing Karev off with a forearm choke. I guess size doesn't always matter in the octagon. It's not always the biggest and strongest fighter who comes out on top. In the main event of Friday's Musin God of Martial Arts event at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, former UFC champ Sylvia faced off against five-time World's Strongest Man champion Marius Pudzianovsky. Now, let's be real, this was a bit of a mismatch from the opening bell. After all, Sylvia was looking for redemption after a painful loss to a 48-year-old former boxer back in June 2009. And boy did he find it. Pudzianovsky started with a couple of low kicks that caught Sylvia's attention, but it would be the last bright moment for the exhausted Polish hero. Using his wrestling skills, Sylvia held the fort down and landed a series of powerful knees against Pudzianovsky. The former strongman continued trying for a takedown, but he got tired a bit too fast. And by the end of the first round, Sylvia was throwing non-stop punches at Pudzianovsky. This domination by Sylvia continued to the next round until it was clear to everyone, including Pudzianovsky, that he was losing the fight. It was a dominant performance by Sylvia, who proved that he still had plenty of fight left in him. And as for Pudzianovsky, well, he walked out of the cage in silence. Ever wondered who might win when a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter goes head-to-head against a giant bodybuilder? Well, this next clip has the answer. Here we have a practice session between two fighters. The weight and height difference is obvious, and the bigger guy didn't hold back with his words. You can see him all hyped up from the very beginning of the clip. Can this bodybuilder live up to his words? We're about to see in the next few minutes. Starting this session, the bodybuilder quickly went for the opponent's body, hoping for an early takedown. With enough experience in jiu-jitsu, the opponent doesn't give up easily. Can he turn the tables around? Well, fast forward to the last seconds of the match. it seems the bodybuilder has secured his win this time. To be fair to the smaller guy, he did try his best. Up next, we have another bodybuilder looking to grab a victory against a black belter. With this duo, the audience couldn't help but feel all the excitement, as it was going to be a match between fighters from different fields. The black belter starts with a few low kicks. He throws another one plus a quick punch, and this time, the bodybuilder counters each move with a quick push, until it leads to a ground fight. The bigger guy appears to be dominating with each hold. Every time the black belter tries to break free and be on top, the bodybuilder quickly stops this from happening. Perhaps a bit too much, because he's now sweating and panting so much, and in the end, his fatigue lost him the match. This is exactly why a bigger weight doesn't always equal victory. This next clip will again feature one of Marius Pudzianovsky's fights in the MMA world. We all know he's a strongman champion, but is he also a champ in the octagon? We've seen how he lost against Sylvia earlier. Will this next one turn out positively? We're about to find out. Considering that his opponent is a Gracie JiuJitsu master, he might suffer another loss. The strongman champ opened the fight with a right punch to the opponent's face, launching him to the mat. From then on, the champ was fired up, ultimately winning the fight. It seems that his bigger build worked out for him in this match. Up next, we have a rookie in the fighting world taking on the challenge of fighting a professional martial arts fighter. While he may lack the experience, he can certainly rely on his bodybuilding background. He opens up with a few soft punches, but before he could land a real one, the MMA fighter launched a kick, pushing him straight to the ground. The thing is, it wasn't even a strong kick. The MMA guy was clearly holding himself back. Despite this, the bodybuilder got up and threw his own set of punches until he got pulled in the air by his opponent and landed on his back. As a good sport, he gets up once again, only to be thrown down to the floor once more, and the cycle repeats until the end of the fight. Props to the bodybuilder for trying. In this next match, we have another pro fighter taking on a bodybuilder. The bodybuilder tries to intimidate the fighter with his massive muscles, but the fighter remains calm and focused. As the match begins, the bodybuilder charges forward with a kick attempt, but the fighter fights back with a lightning-fast kick that almost causes the bigger guy to stumble. When he tried to regain his balance, the pro fighter didn't waste his time in knocking him to the mat. The fighter throws more punches left and right. Eventually, the bodybuilder knew it was time to tap out and give up. So that's all for today's episode, folks. If you enjoyed watching, leave a like and share it with your friends. You can also comment and let us know what you'd like to see from this channel in the future. Also, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You'll want to check out our other videos. Stay tuned for more awesomeness. Thanks for watching.